Welcome to Survive to Thrive Daily with Dr. Todd. I am Dr. Todd Wendell, husband, father, chiropractor, entrepreneur, and health architect, here to bring you daily tips and tricks to improve your life and literally help you move from just surviving to thriving. Let's get started. Welcome back again to another edition of Survive or Thrive. Hey, we got some cool stuff to talk about today, and maybe even a little bit controversial. So why not? Why not? We go where most people do not dare to go. We're going to talk about kids in chiropractic today. And last week we dropped kind of a bomb on, and if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, go back and listen to one of the greatest gifts that you could actually give yourself was the gift of chiropractic. And there's been many years that I've shied away from this because it's just, we're passionate. Marin and I are passionate about chiropractic and a certain type of chiropractic that changes the spine. More specifically, more passionate about what a healthy spine can do for a body, the diseases that it can resist, the sicknesses that it can avoid. And so this comes out of, you guys may have not heard this, but I want to open the door, and some don't want to talk about it. They want to make it just go away, like sweep it underneath the rug. And that's not a good way to do this. We need to talk about it. But there was, and I'm assuming, I've read some stuff on it, I'm assuming this is where this came from, but there was a YouTube video of a chiropractor adjusting an infant. He was probably looked about maybe 18 months old, something like that, maybe a little bit younger, and maybe just over a year, but over his knee, and adjusted the mid-back area. And of course, as in chiropractic, when we provide an adjustment, oftentimes there's what we call an audible. There's a release of pressure in that area and makes a sound. Well, what happened was a cascade of events on this YouTube video. Why we are posting videos of people getting adjusted on YouTube, I have no idea. That's like posting surgical procedures or vaccinations, sticking needles in the arms. It makes no sense, but it is what it is. And so this chiropractor, I followed this story for over the last a couple years, just little snippets of it here and there. I think he lost his license, and there was an element in Australia that that just kind of followed this, and just came across that they literally have set forth a law of some sort that it is not legal to actually adjust kids. Now, I haven't seen up to what age and what defines their parameters for what they're doing this, but this is one of the greatest travesties of all times. It literally is, that we're willing to actually take one of the greatest gifts to adults out there and take it away from kids. And so immediately what needs some explanation, what you need to hear today is, why would a child need chiropractic care? Why would an infant need to be checked? In our office on a daily basis, we have kids. We have little infants. We have moms on the way home from the hospital, like literally getting their kids checked. And this is a phenomenal thing once parents understand what you are about to embark on with me, is an understanding of what chiropractic is and what it isn't for kids. Oftentimes, we get the question of, why would a child need to be adjusted? How do you even know if they have pain? Or why would a child have pain at their age? They haven't literally done anything to cause any harm to their spine. And there's two folds in this. One, chiropractic was never about pain. That's right. What we do on a daily basis is never about pain. Pain was a signal from the most important system in your body to letting you know that it's got pressure on it. And we attempt, and although many times not successful in actually relaying this message, chiropractic is about the nervous system, has nothing to do with pain. Pain is just your check engine light saying, hey, my nervous system is not working properly. And this is what we attempt to show and reveal to adults. But it's the same thing with a child. When a child is actually not functioning well, it is a result of that nervous system not getting the flow, not actually having that flow through the body, meaning it's got some sort of resistance. Now, you may ask, how does that resistance pop up? If you've ever watched a delivery, oftentimes it can be very hard on the body. It can be hard. Not to mention C-section rates going through the roof nowadays. All right, because this has become a procedure that is more about the safety of the malpractice insurance than it is about the child being delivered and the mom. Understand, I would not want to be an OB right now. All right, they have a lot on their plate. I cannot control as an OB what you did your entire pregnancy. Whether you're healthy or not healthy, you exercised or you didn't exercise, whether you ate well or didn't eat well, whether you smoked, you took drugs. I don't want to be in that position. They have to make calls that are tough. They're making calls based on the malpractice insurance, meaning that at this rate, I'm going to deliver this child the best way that I know how I can control this environment. I get it, okay? But that's hard on a body. I can walk you through the fact that C-section babies often will run into what colic-like behaviors because they didn't get the stress that was necessary. They didn't get the vaginal contractions, the squeezing to boost their immune system, literally give them the endorphins that kicks, and science has shown this, that kicks their immune system into play, that their immune system is just lazy. And so they don't latch well, they don't feed well, they don't sleep well, they don't thrive. And until a parent says, look, I'm at my wit's end, this colicky-like behavior in this baby, I need to do something. And oftentimes parents will literally hand their child over like, you got to do something. Nobody else seems to know what's going on. And all we're doing is checking the nervous system. It is when the baby's neck gets tugged out of the birth canal and twisted to try to turn the shoulders to get the baby out, with a complete disregard of the delicate cervical spine and the nervous system that controls everything right there. All right, and then the barrage that this baby, this infant, and this child can go through, the barrage of vaccinations. This is not a vaccine debate, but the barrage, we're plugging this baby full of different vaccinations. All right, and then the immune system's going brrr. And then we have infants that are maybe not even breastfed, so they're not getting the immunoglobulins, they're not getting the chance for their immune system to get this boost, right? And so we have this chaos that starts and ensues for an infant, and then we wonder why their nervous system is stressed, all right? Or we wonder why an infant needs to be adjusted, all right? Subject yourself to this. A new world, a new environment, all the sounds, all the sights, okay, all the stressors that become like almost like going up on stage and having to perform in a bunch of people with like thousands of people staring at you. This is what an infant is going through, and that infant's nervous system automatically raises up like, I'm in stress mode right now, okay, versus actually going in through a normal environment, maybe even a normal birth, that a child, and we just had a staff that did this, a child actually came out in a healthy environment, a calm environment, and was immediately like to the chest, got to relax, get the transitions a little bit easier. We checked her spine, and it was like, we're good. There's nothing that's needed here, versus the chaos that often ensues. So what we start to see is that infants will actually express symptoms not like adults. They will not latch when they need to feed. They will be fussy. They wake up every hour. They will fight infections and have little sicknesses, congestion. I mean, they just go through like this whole series of issues. And when they go through this full series of issues, it's because their immune system is not getting the kick. The nervous system is not communicating right. They're in this stress overload, this what we call sympathetic reaction to their world. And they get stuck. Like you drank too much coffee or you got too much stress at work, they go through the same stressors. And so literally for an Australian Chiropractic Association or board to be able to say, look, these babies don't deserve the same thing that an adult would, is disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting, and what a travesty to the Australian children that they will not grow up with this amazing gift of chiropractic. And so here we are back in our office. I will fight for the ability to do this because children need it. They need that chance for their nervous system to be relaxed. And that's all we're doing as chiropractors, is checking and removing any of that interference, taking that sympathetic reaction and turning it back into a normal. Literally, like sympathetic is your fight and flight nervous system. And we actually settle that, allow the body to settle that out. So your what? Rest and digest to come up. An infant should be doing nothing but resting and digesting. And so when they're not resting and they're not digesting, literally we saw an infant that hadn't pooped for 5 days, like literally had not made a bowel movement since it had been born, which sometimes, yeah, it can be normal. But literally after an adjustment and working on some of the areas of the nervous system to relax the nervous system, bowel movement was had. We actually celebrate when a baby shits on the table. This is my life, all right? We literally celebrate, and it happens. We stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, a balance there, and the baby has a bowel movement on the table. We're like, woohoo! High fives, parents like, woo, cool. This is awesome, things are working. But see, if you get it from the concept that this was never about pain, but it was about a nervous system working the way that a nervous system was supposed to. You get the concept that kids need chiropractic, accelerate into toddlers, crashing into things as they learn to walk. And we see this quite often. The low back starts to actually take the load of the body and comes under those stresses of a gravity environment. And so we start adjusting and working the low back. We've had little kids that can barely talk, literally talk about their back pain. Like, does it hurt? And they're like, yeah, and they'll point to their back and they start to understand pain. Why would we take that away from a child? Why would we take that away from a parent? We're totally okay. We're totally okay sucking a bunch of vaccinations into a body, like literally injecting these vaccinations without even considering the implications, the ingredients, and the neurological insult that that has to a body. We don't even question, is this too much? Is it too often? Can we spread this out? I mean, can we find alternatives to these ingredients that are in there? We're not even going to question the ibuprofen that will give a child and the potential side effects and the harmful effects that it can have on the gut and the kidneys. We're not even going to check the Robitussin that we give this child when it has a cough. We're not even going to look at the drug facts on these things, but we're going to question chiropractic. We're going to question chiropractic because that's the target that we need to look at. And so it goes. And so it goes. The most simplest solution to be able to help somebody is the one that becomes the most scrutinized. It becomes the most targeted. If you cannot see the impact that this could have, or as you're listening to this and you have not had your children checked by a chiropractor, if you cannot see the impact that that has, if you cannot see all the way through infancy as the toddler starts to grow and walk and crash, and as they get into sports and start to have those stressors, as they get into social environments, they start to have the same stresses that we have and need that same balance that we can give and make sure the spine is actually growing the way it should be growing. So what? They do not wake up in high school or wake up in college or wake up as a young adult suffering from low back pain, suffering from degenerative changes, suffering from disc issues, suffering from headaches and neck pain and neurological impacts that go across the board. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it is more than pain. It is more about the development of a child. It is more about the nervous system actually adapting in the environment, being able to take stimulus from that environment and process it perfectly well to be able to have a cascade of response back out into its body and back out into its environment, to connect, to literally connect with mom and dad, to literally have that opportunity. And in Australia, we stand up and kill that opportunity for hundreds of thousands of children. So that's all I had for you today, but to understanding of why chiropractic is good for kids, why chiropractors need to check and evaluate kids. This was never about pain. It looks different. It looks different with children. Children are treated different than adults. It is a special population that, yes, we do get training on. My God, the questions about chiropractic. Are you even qualified? We have more training in pediatrics than most general practitioners do, understanding their little systems, their needs, their demands. And every chiropractor usually combos an adjustment and balancing that nervous system with necessary ways to counteract vaccines and the impact of vaccines with getting the gut back on track with probiotics and actually delivering some good nutrition if mom's not able to breastfeed, and steer people away from the shit of Similac or some of these formulas that do nothing but constipate and create more chaos from just crap ingredients. See, the chiropractor literally is the heart of healthcare. This is the core of healthcare for you, for your children, for others and their children, and must be protected, must be delivered as a first stop in any situation. When in sickness, check first to the spine. When in sickness, check first to the spine, said Hippocrates. The doctor of the future will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, said Thomas Edison. We need to get back to basics. We need to focus on what's right and not what's wrong. We need to focus on what's right in healthcare. And this is a big avenue for you and your family. That's all I got for you guys, coming to you every day to allow you to move from just surviving to thriving, letting kids go from just surviving. It's not what they were meant to do. They were meant to thrive in their environment. And having a healthy nervous system is one of the only ways that you can guarantee it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.